talk about intentionality. Intentionality is something that refers to something. Like when I say that I intend, that means I intend for something, about something. That means it is always connected. It is not separate from other concept. So there, the concept of intentionality we can see in the famous book of Brentano, the psychology from an empirical standpoint, where he has given his vivid description, vivid thought on the idea of intentionality. Intentionality, he was not able to separate it, define it in a separate way. Okay, but now let's see how the idea of intentionality has came up and what he talks about the intentionality. So here, most important thing to understand is the distinction between psychical and physiological or non-mental phenomena. So there are two kind of phenomena, mental phenomena and non-mental phenomena. So while investigating the mental phenomena, that is psychical phenomena, Brentano discovered that every mental phenomena, for the sake of understanding, I will be using mental phenomena itself instead of psychical phenomena, because if I will use it interchangeably, you might get confused. Okay, so while investing on the mental phenomena, Brentano discovered that every mental phenomena is different from physical phenomena. Why it is different? Because the intentionality is different. Physical phenomena, intentionality is different. Mental phenomena, intentionality is different. So he says that intentionality is the sufficiently distinguishing feature of all mental phenomena, while physical phenomena deserves its peculiarity. That means if you want to know about mental phenomena, then you will say that its intention is different, and this way you can differentiate the mental phenomena. But physical phenomena you can easily differentiate. Even if intentionality is not present there, but you can differentiate physical phenomena by just observing it, perceiving it, experiencing it, talking about it. But when it comes about the mental phenomena, then you have only one thing to differentiate between my mental phenomena and your mental phenomena, and that one thing is intentionality. So here in the book Psychology from an Empirical Standpoint, Brentano talks about intentionality. So you must know the name of the book, Psychology from an Empirical Standpoint, because he was a psychologist also, an empiricist also. Brentano, he was psychologist, empiricist, and so most of his idea would be related to psychology and empirical science. So here is the same thing, which is in the quoted form, that every mental phenomena is the intentional inexistence of an object. Understand this line. Every mental phenomena is intentional inexistence of an object. That means if you are talking about an object and you are trying to understand that object, then that thing may or may not be present in an object. Suppose I am talking about an imaginary horse. Okay? Because it is not in existence, because you have not seen that horse, and therefore whatever I talk about it, you might not be able to consume it because it is in existence. And because I am talking about it,
you're talking about an imaginary horse, and I can imagine an imaginary horse. You're able to consume what you're saying.
yeah, but you're not able to imagine as I am imagining, right?
Yeah, but you're also not able to say what I'm saying. You're saying
Yes,
right,
right. Exactly. That's why your intention is different, my intention is different. isn't it? Hmm? Why no? Yeah, but we have not perceived it yet. Yeah, I just said you for the clarity. It is like horse. I'm imagining, but maybe it is a different thing. Maybe it is a wild horse, and you are talking about the homely horse. There might be the difference. Okay. Intention is the only thing that differentiates your conception and my conception. Rest of the thing is in existence. It is not in existence, and therefore we cannot debate about it. Physical thing we can very well debate about it, about its truth, because it is empirical. But when it comes about the mental phenomena, then there lies only the intention that differentiate between my mental phenomena and your mental phenomena. So up to here, you feel that there is something which is incomprehensible. Yes. Intentional in existence of an object. He says that mental phenomena is intentional in existence of an object. Just like you said that if you are perceiving something mentally, but I don't know, right, what you are perceiving mentally. I don't have any clue of it, because that is totally your conception. Just like you showed me that painting, what you might be thinking about that painting, I don't know. What I am thinking about that painting, you don't know. But if we share the common link that it is a human face, then might we come to a common point, a common ground. That means we have shared the intention, right? Before that, we had no idea that what is going on in your mind and what is going on in my mind, right? Yeah. So, intention, when we are talking about intention, it is related to a content and the directedness towards an object, because intention is leading us towards an object. When I'm talking about the horse, imaginary horse, then my intention is towards that imaginary horse, and therefore there is a directedness. Okay. So let's skip this part.
Intention is reference to a content and
It is reference to an object.
directedness towards an object.
Directedness towards an object means it is giving us a direction that we have to follow this object. If I'm talking about horse, it could be any kind of horse. It could be a showpiece horse or the real horse, anything. But I am giving you a direction towards that object by showcasing my intention. If I don't show my intention, you won't be able to reach to an object. Right? Yeah. So see, Brentano was not a phenomenalist. And so, Brentano's concept of intentionality does not fit with the concept of phenomenalism. Phenomenalism, what we talk in phenomenalism, it holds that the constituent parts of the world is phenomena, appearance or some data. But Brentano holds that there is a world which transcends the phenomena. Right? So Brentano is talking about intentionality in something different way. And he is talking about methodological phenomenalism. It is not exactly the phenomenalistic behavior, because he was combining the psychology also, and therefore his concept is mostly methodic. Right? Let us understand more about his concept of intentionality, so that we may be aware that what his intentionality is and how it is different from Husserl intentionality. See, so all mental events such as our perceptions, thoughts, beliefs, hopes, fears, loves, hatreds have this characteristic feature of being of or about something. So everything, everything is always about something, always of something. And it gives us a sense of that something that is in the external world. So mental events are giving us a sense of something that is in the external world. So when we can say that what is mental state, we can say that mental state is a representation of something other than itself. When we are talking about something, when we are discussing about something, then we are representing that something according to our mental point, our state of awareness. So a blind man would not be able to define the color red because he has never seen it. But if you are asked to define the color red, you will say that apple is red, right? So you are defining a red through the reference of something, about something. And this representational character of mind or consciousness, its being of or about something, is intentionality. Okay, so this is the very important, what can I say, scientific addition to the discovery of intentionality, because it is always about something. It is never separated from that something. Okay. So he has divided the intentional in existence into two parts. Later, previously we covered about intentional in existence, that is not in existence. There was a challenge. There was a challenge because we were not able to consume the data. But if it is in existence, then there are the two classes. First, the class of psychological, and second, the class of psychic phenomena. So the things that are very well able to be perceived, we are able to consume it. But things which are not consumable, we are not able to collect it. This thing is quite clear, right? So psychological phenomena, it means intentional in existence. When it is intentional in existence, that is reference to the content. But if it is intentional in existence, then it means that it will be either psychological or it will be in the class of psyche phenomena. That means these ideas or presentation could be acquired through sense perception or imagination. But if it is in existence, in an existence in a combined form, then the ideas could not be grasped, and then you will need intentionality, and then you will need reference to content. Any doubt in this?
Yeah, could you explain it again?
Yeah. So here, see the two things. First, intentional in existence. Very clear? Something which is existence and you are searching about intention in it, then it is called as intentional in existence. Here, two things could happen. Either the psychological or the psyche phenomena. But would you be able to understand this? Tell me. Intentional in existence. Would you be able to understand the psychological thing? There is emotion.
Yeah.
You will be able to understand why, because these ideas are quite clear. It is in a presentable form, like the perception or imagination. Yeah, so you can understand it, isn't it? Yeah. Can you understand ideas or presentation? If I'm telling you something, some story, some imaginary ideas, like a director is telling about the movie, then could you grasp it using your sense perception? Yeah. Therefore, it is intentional in existence. See, separation is there. Intentional in existence. Okay. But when we are talking about intentional in existence, matlab it is not in existence. Okay, so if it is not in existence, then how you can consume it using your mental space? You can consume it through the reference to the content. Okay? Tough? Mm-hmm. Intentional in existence, what does it mean? It means that it is not in existence. If it is not in existence, if it is not in the physical space, the mental space, or any other space, then how you can understand it? Suppose about the blind man. Blind man has never seen the red color, and but he has not seen apple, right? So how you will say that who what is apple? Okay, he knows this is fruit. Yes, definitely. You said it very right. That means he is taking the reference. Exactly. So something if it is in existence, that is not in existence, then the reference to content is required. And that is the only thing called intentionality, according to Brentano. So here you see, Brentano never uses the term intention in isolation, but he has always combined it, like intention in existence, intentional relation, or whatsoever. So the second characterization of any psychic phenomena that we want to study is reference to an object. What was the first one? First one was obviously perception. Perception and then the development of an idea, right? And the second one is reference to an object. This is very important. If you want to understand Brentano, then this point is very important. Then we have to always make reference to an object. Clear? So reference, this line, just read it. This will make everything clear. Reference to an object is thus the decisive and indispensable feature of anything that we consider psychical. Psychical, that means cannot be explained in the physical phenomena. That is mental. Okay. So reference to an object is the decisive and indispensable feature of anything that is mental or psychical. Every time he is stressing on reference to an object, that means he has never able to describe intentionality in isolation. It is always related to something. And intentionality by definition means that it is about something. Got my point?
Yes.
Okay. Now, because, yeah. Brentano is saying that the psychology is all about, real subject matter of psychology is mental phenomena. And he said that we must consider only mental phenomena in the state of real state, in the sense of real states as a proper object of psychology, and it is in reference only to these phenomena that the science of mental phenomena. So he's saying that the mental phenomena is the real subject matter of psychology. And Brentano uses examples like in presentation, something is presented; in judgment, something is judged; and in love, something is loved. So he is saying that in every words, in every psychological words, there is that something, that is some reference that defines the concept. So when you're talking about presentation, then something is presented. When you're talking about judgment, then obviously something is getting judged. And when you're about talking about the love, then something is loved, right? So this three things was the major thing in his book, that is presentation, judgment, phenomena. This is an extra thing that we are studying. Most of the things we have covered already that you have to write in exam. So presentation has special meaning which is classified by various philosophers. So you asked about the Immanuel Kant. So Immanuel Kant designates presentation as representation. And Brentano says that by presentation, we do not mean that which is presented, but rather the presenting of it. What does it mean? Can you just give any explanation for this? Why Brentano is saying like that?
Can you ask the question again?
Brentano here puts that by presentation, we do not mean that which is presented, but rather the presenting of it. How can you explain this? I will just try to put in one screen. It's not possible.
Make it smaller.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. Now you can see that? Yeah.
Yeah, we can. By presentation, we do not mean when what is presented, but rather the presenting of it. So suppose I'm talking about the right follow. Let's say I'm talking about
Okay.
the presentation we do not mean that is presented. We're talking about the right follow.
Yes, true, very good. So if you're talking about some object, you are always talking something about that object. Right. Yeah. So this is what Brentano talks about. And the third thing he said about the judgment. No, it's the second thing. So judgment refers to the class of mental phenomena, and it also involves a presentation of an object. Okay, so the third one is the mental phenomena. This phenomena is indicated by Brentano as the phenomena of love and hate. Okay, when we are talking about the love and hate, it is also the emotion. So emotion may differ for different people, right? My emotion is different from your emotion, and in all these things, in love, hate, in judgment, in presentation, we see one common factor, and that is about something, which Brentano understood as intentionality. Okay? So this object is this all thing is obviously cannot be understood independently. So you can use this as an example for your context. The love, hate, the judgment, and the presentation. For defining all these things, you need a context, and that is what Brentano understands as intentionality. So this was a brief outline of what we studied about intentionality, but now where the role of hustle is here. So hustle says that Brentano has failed to grasp the real import of intentionality, and he says that he failed to put the concept into philosophical use. So he's just talking about the idea of intentionality, and he is not making any use of it. And here the role of hustle came up when he talked about the intentionality for understanding the concept of consciousness. Consciousness, as Husserl sees, is a region of being which is non-physical as well as non-psychological, and therefore he needed this concept of intentionality to define the consciousness. So when we will be talking about the Husserl, then we will see that how he has used Brentano's concept of intentionality to understand and define the concept of consciousness. Okay, so this much makes sense.